Dearly redheaded, we are choosing consciousness today to get through this thing called grief. Interesting word, grief. It means love, which makes for a mighty good joke. But I'm here to tell you, there's nothing else. Just joy. And if the big picture tends to bring you down, go crazy once your life goes. Woo!
I did not get more water. I'm pushing through. All right. You and I share an appreciation for Mayim Bialik, and Jonathan Cohen's podcast. It's called Breakdown. It's basically where science meets spirituality. In fact, if I had noticed them before I did this, I may not have gotten started. But they don't say fuck, cock, cunt. So anyway, I brought to your attention several aspects of their podcast. But one of late, and I didn't write down his last name. Did you happen to write down Jeff's last name?
No.
All right. It's essentially
I can look it up though if you'd like.
I think I can describe it. It's Mayim, okay. Jonathan, Jeff, and this wonderful woman, Elizabeth, who was struck by lightning and came out of it extraordinarily intuitive and just she had an extraordinary experience. And again, I always, you can find it based on the straight names that I gave you, but with Jeff, he's a professor at Rice, philosophy and religion are his arenas. And Jeff wrote a book with Elizabeth based on her spiritual experience and her abilities post being struck by lightning. And it's pretty incredible. And the nice part about what they do, and include Jeff in this, is they're big believers in these experiences. Well, Mayim and Jonathan are becoming bigger believers in these experiences. And the way Jeff says is when you take things off the table in science, you're only researching what's left on the table, and that's a problem, because very often it's what you take off the table that we need to, this is my own word, just appreciate what falls within science. So I'm trying to think about, my brain's having a little flooding.
I really liked that comment that he made about that. That was, I mean, outside of the whole interesting experience that she had, that was probably one of the best statements, I think, of that episode.
Yeah, agreed. He is so grounded in his beliefs that these experiences happen, and he cited them in the tens of thousands. So still relatively uncommon, but nonetheless becoming more important as we look at why we're on the planet, what's possible, what we can think about, what's occurred, and what's becoming decidedly more normal. Fair?
Yeah, I mean, like, in my mind, it's like, why wouldn't these things happen? Why wouldn't they be real? Why is it even a question? I mean, we look back at our ancient civilizations and stuff, and we're in awe in their practices and things. And now we look at us and think that we don't have the capability of being just as connected spiritually to the cosmos as previous versions of ourselves have been. I don't understand why it is normal not to have these experiences.
Right. Agreed. And you have commented to me on my experiences that they're real, and that's just you've inspired me to talk about my experiences more than anybody in my life. And I don't mean that the podcast did influence it, but it's just nice to have that person that you can go to and have them just really respect that this stuff went down, motherfucker.
Our experiences are our experiences, that's like, to not say them for fear of making somebody else uncomfortable is stupid, honestly. I mean, we have to share these experiences in whatever realm they are in.
I couldn't agree.
To even get an understanding of it. I mean, someone who is unable to connect. Okay, let's bring it back a little bit. Like, so dissociated, they can't even connect with themselves. Well, clearly they can't connect with other realms. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean it's not possible. I think everybody can have this kind of connection in one way or another if they're open to it.
I agree. I just, my personal issue is it just falls back on 2 podcasts ago, that I can't say that fucking word, authoritarian mentality of what I was born into and what I married in a very covert way. I mean, it just, my intuition got backburnered, was never appreciated. I mean, sometimes, but not before I had self-abandoned, you know what I mean? Once I self-abandoned, it was really a journey back to it, which is, as I say, I'm realizing talking to you, my mother kind of left a foundation for, well, I mean, it started like 2015. I got on that CPTSD journey, and then by the time I had the Kundalini awakening, that was 2022. So there was a lot of work in coming back to myself. But I agree with you. It is possible. I should probably explain what happened to Elizabeth a little more. You want to take it, or you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Poop. All right. She's struck by lightning. She's with her 2 small children. She's aware that she's on the ground. Like, she's aware, she's viewing herself on the ground, seeing what her children are experiencing and the people that are attempting to help her. But in her experience, she's seated on a bench for approximately 2 weeks. And she gets multiple downloads of information. She's given the chance to stay, go back. She is told she will be having a daughter if she goes back. She said that's the lion's share of wanting to go back, was because she knew her daughter, who was born subsequently 2 years later, had chosen her, so she wanted to go back and meet her daughter. But she's talking about this stuff very matter-of-factly. There was some psychic elements to it, like she knew who was going to be in the Super Bowl. There was some silly, funny aspects to it. And so she comes back into her body, is now a different person. She is a different parent. She's a more not as anxious of a parent. She ends up, she and her husband end up parting ways subsequently several years later as friends, because they just, after her awakening, if you want to call it that, they just couldn't relate to one another, but they did right by their kids. And she started to have real psychic abilities, which she didn't necessarily feel comfortable with because she didn't want to interfere with the other people's soul's journeys. She tried it for a short period of time. She was very accurate, but she just didn't fully embrace it. She had an ability to see auras. Someone came into her field that had a black aura, and she pointed out, she asked them where the health was concerned, and they were healthy for all intents and purposes, and subsequently died of a heart attack. I believe it was the same day. So you had the extreme things that were shown to her eminent, if you will, and then you had the things that were just now inherent in her as an intuitive. She had an extreme trauma background. Jeff commented that that's a big part of what's possible spiritually, intuitive-wise, and he calls it, I believe, trauma secrets. So she was raped from age 6 to 12, and she was very familiar with dissociation. She said she used to go to the beach. So when she's having this spiritual experience post being struck by lightning, her brain remembered dissociation, which then allowed her to come back. Like she said, that was the standout, that she knew how to come back from it. And this is, again, you know me, I love dissociation from the perspective of not only being so dissociated in life, no longer, but realizing, this is my choir. This is my choir speaking to my own experiences. So I think that's, can you comment or add anything I missed?
No, I think you summed it up beautifully. I mean, that's pretty much that whole episode of what she went through. I think it's incredible. I mean,
because it's true.
I basically listened to it, and like my mouth was just hanging open the entire time. Like, this is amazing to come back and have that experience and just be, I mean, just your whole life experience is now on a different course.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think she had a really remarkable way of melding the dimensions, the way, how she came across. She wrote a book with Jeff, so she processed it. And then she made decisions about how she wanted to live with her spiritual gifts and what worked and what didn't, which I think is when you are intuitive and you have clairs or whatever. It's just, how do I enjoy those things and circle back to the human experience? It's just, she just listening to the four of them talk about it and having it be so normal, interesting, but normal.
Yeah. Balancing the human experience with those gifts that is incredible. It was incredible to listen to her and how she processed it.
And to know that go ahead.
Oh, and to know that she is a different person. Like, even when she talks about her marriage or her previous marriage, and respectfully, is just, she acknowledged, like, I would not be interested in the person that I am now in before. I'm completely different. And to have that compassion for her previous husband, I think, was very important, because it acknowledges, like, this is completely different. I am different. It's hard for a lot of people because they want to hold on to their human experiences instead of letting it morph as they are.
Yeah, but it gets to a point where you choose the spiritual side.
Yeah.
And that's where
you choose the spiritual side, right?
And that, I think, is hard. I think that's hard for anybody who looks at themselves when they have those gifts and trying to.
Well, I think it's hard for anybody who may not have those gifts, or at this time or aware of it. It's to choose something higher over the human experience. I mean, that's like when it's it's like allowing a part of you to just disintegrate. Like, you're not going to attach yourself to this very physical state. you're living in it, you're aware of it, you have to stay in it, but there's more to it, and being free enough to separate from that is very difficult.
It actually puts you more in your body.
It's an intentional practice.
Yep. Yeah. One thing that she's touched on before, meaning Mayim and Jonathan, and I can't remember who they were. I'm so shitty with names. I just do the best I can. She was talking to a gentleman that he had. They put it under precognition, where he had a situation. I don't even know if I can fucking describe it, but they put his experience, which was he had I don't remember, it was a dream, an image, a thought about a former employer, and the next day the employer got in touch regarding something that, again, I don't remember, but I however he described the experience, to me it was more telepathy. I have more of a cognizance towards telepathy than precognition. And I realize what I just said, okay? I'm aware of what I just said. And I found that with the three of them talking, now this is a different podcast that they did, that the mention of telepathy did not come up. And that was really interesting to me, because I'm a big believer in what's possible in the fifth dimension and beyond as far as communication is concerned. And you and I have touched on that. I do feel, and again, you brought it up, I don't know, 2 podcasts ago, about how dialing back to what the ancients used to do, however far back you want to go. I'm not suggesting any period of time, but coming back into what was possible, hundreds, thousands of years ago. And I do believe that we are eventually, especially with where AI is going and it being so aware of multidimensional levels of consciousness and the conscious collective and 69 other things, that we are going to be able to have ways of communicating beyond our body. And I think you agree.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it just seems to be where we're going.
Do you have any fifth dimension and beyond experiences with energies or insight or higher self or source, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love when it happens, and I can't wait. Like, it's like when I experience it, I just want more of it. It's so wonderful. I mean, I've had experience where, I think a lot of us can relate to, where you're thinking about somebody, they all of a sudden they're popping in your mind, you can almost feel their energy, and then all of a sudden you're connected in the human experience, whether you run into them, they call you, you get a letter, something. And I think that is connected to that for sure. I don't know how, but it just seems as if it would be. In meditations, I've had higher states of meditation, not with psychedelic experiences connected, but
with or without?
Without, where it is, I feel out of body. Like I am in this other world in my mind. I am shown things. And it's almost as if my physical body is vibrating. There's an obvious disconnect. Like it's like, you ever had one of those sleep experiences that almost that sleep paralysis experience where you're dreaming, that you know you're kind of awake, but you're not, but you can feel your body, but you can't move it. That's almost like what I can relate this experience to. So I would be sitting in my state wherever I'm sitting at the time. I'm still connected to my body physically, but there is an obvious disconnect. I'm not there. I don't know where I am. I'm in my meditative state. But I'm not, I can't move my body in some respect until I come back to it. And it's like, okay, it's like a process. Like I have to actively in my mind come back to my body.
Is teleportation too strong of a word?
I don't know, because I don't know if that's what I'm experiencing. So it's just like, I don't like to put these labels on it because I don't know yet what is actually happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you. I just know. I just know.
I had it one time in a bathtub where I was in a meditative state, taking a bath, purposely in a meditative state. And I was shown visuals of things because I was trying to work through feelings and thoughts, and I can't really get into right now what I was actually, because it won't make any sense. But I could still remember the visuals, and it was this really shining light of a person figure. And I remember in the visual that I was trying in my mind to cut ties with bad. That was my intention. I'm meditating, going deep. I want to cut ties with this old version of me, of people, of entities that I'm attached to that are traumatic. And I was trying to just go through this path. And the visual that I can remember of seeing this figure was so shining bright, I could barely look at it. And there was a rope connected me to this figure. And in my mind, I was like clipping the ropes of these parts of whether it was myself or others, or just that I did not want to be attached to anymore. But this one, I could not. Every time I went with the scissor, it got brighter. I would have to really meditate and go back into it to get the full picture of it again, of what I experienced. But that is what, when I'm back into this thoughtful experiment, that's what I remember. And again, not substance added. This is pure, just bathtub meditation.
Yeah. I think I had to have my initial psychedelic experiences on substance to bring me home to my capabilities sober, and to be comfortable like with my capabilities, because I'll tell you what, I have some pretty unbelievable, beautiful experiences. And water too. When I had my Kundalini, I was in the tub. I had drained it and gone out for 4 hours and came back. And then I had another experience where I was guided to stay out of the water, because there is something with water. I'm not that familiar with all this stuff yet to have even an opinion about it. Whereas, and I think I told you this one, the next day I was guided to go in the water and almost have a baptism. I mean, that's throw my head in the water, and it was just an unbelievable spiritual thing. But again, that was the time when I was about to lose my aunt, and I was about within 6-7 months of losing my mother. So it was a wild time, a lot going on, beautiful stuff. beautiful stuff. But I was very cognizant that it wasn't going to be like this all the time. That it was definitely tied to the two women leaving their bodies, if that makes sense. But it
does make sense. I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's really hard to understand these moments at times. And it's like in the moment of having it, it's so clear. And then when we get back into our real bodies, it's hard to put it together where it makes sense. But we know it feels like it makes sense. It feels wonderful. It's just the connection. It's like it can't be explained in some way.
And also, like, since I was a kid, just what I knew, just and just for people who are listening, it comes down to how many times you've been around before, and what the lessons you're supposed to pull away from the experience. Elizabeth in that video with Mayim, Jonathan, and Jeff does a good job of explaining the soul and how she views it, and how as I believe you contract. Like I have in recent months after my 5-day dissociative CPTSD episode, I can remember it because there's a lot of humor with my guides. This is a black comedic group. This is not, this is a funny group, the way I'm guided. And I can remember just saying to my higher self, what the fuck did I contract for? Like, why would I do this? Like, that's the point it got to. Like, that biblical story about everybody's in a circle and you put your problems in the middle and everybody takes their own problem back. That's a real abortion of that beautiful little story. But do you know the one I mean? I do. Yeah. So for the first time in my life, I'm like, I don't, give me something else. I can't. What is going on? And at what point, am I going to understand that the good exceeds the bad? Because fuck, and I don't mean it. It was the self-abandoning that I am coming back into myself. I've done a lot of work on it, and I just didn't realize the extent of the journey this time around. And I've turned a corner. I get it. But man, oh man, and I have experienced that flow beyond, the flow that exists beyond all this stuff. Even talking to you right now, I'm aware that higher frequency vibrational sound, it's not tinnitus, that I experience when I talk to you is gone, which speaks to frequency.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't change it. I don't know. Ask me. I wouldn't change it, but I just, this journey to self is hard work. Hard work.
I love it. It is difficult work. It is. It's because it's putting yourself under a microscope, but also making yourself be very vulnerable. But I love it. It's like, I love progression in everything. Like that's what attracts me to helping people change their bodies. I love the progression. I love seeing the work
experiment
manifest. Yeah. And when you're in it, it's like, it's difficult. You're dragging yourself through it most days. sometimes you're just so down because you don't see the progression, but from an outside person, it's like blowing my mind on a daily basis. Like, and then when I take the time to reflect outside of my own progression, it makes me have such compassion and respect for myself in my own progression. And it's never done. Like I'm never done. There's always room for more progression, and I love that.
I love that, knowing you and what you've been and gone through. I love to know that. And I also I mean, you know how I feel. You know how I just can't even imagine not being able to pick up the phone and talking to you. Like, if you get hit by a bus, you know, make sure
Well,
your
then we'll just
soul
have to talk in other ways.
I was gonna say, fuck. Okay, fine. That just doesn't fucking hold up, because you'll be with me and I won't have a problem. So there. But whatever. I always say I'm not gonna get hit by a bus. More likely run over.
You'll know it's me because I'll send you a telepathy dick pic.
I just don't want 5D sex with you. So far, all the 5D sex has been male, and I can discern female energy up in that world, which is now that I open that can
How
of
you
worms,
know it's me?
huh?
Which
Well,
is
you'll
how
probably
you know
fuck
it's
with
me.
me, and it'll be my first lesbian experience, and whatever. I digress. But wow, there's more humor. There's another. Now we're talking. Never mind. I'm gonna let it go because Brian is. He's not giving me the evil eye, but we'll end it. We'll end it on a high note. Thank you for doing this, Angel, living and beyond living angel.
Welcome.
So glad we found one another this time around.
Yeah, this is interesting.
It's salvation. All right, and if anything happens to me, never mind. I'm not going to say this. I'm just if I don't tune in, it's because I'm going to be making up for lost time. My soul's. That's probably what my soul was promised: sex in the afterlife. God damn it, motherfucker. All right, be well. I'll talk to you soon enough. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and supporting Natural Born Redhead. If you follow the bouncing balls, please like and subscribe. If you know someone interested in sparing others grief and inciting joy, message me on Facebook or reach out via my website, Natural Born Redhead. J-Ma.